Hello, all. Thank you for clicking in. Appreciate you guys liking and subscribing and sharing this stuff. You've been doing a great job, and I gotta commend you guys for that. Now, I want to break down what's going on with the whole Fani Willis case. So Nathan Wade has an attorney that's representing him who is a friend of his. However, they've been friends for quite some time, even through the marriage that was currently going on with Nathan Wade and his ex-wife. And so there has been a lot of conversations that have been going on between him and this Nathan Wade and Nathan Wade's attorney. And what that means is there is a fine line between lawyer and privilege to clientele privilege thing, whatever they will talk about. However, we do know that through other cases that has been blown completely wide open whenever it comes to Trump and his privilege to confidentiality to lawyer association, whatever you want to call that. So let me show you how I got a video of Fox News kind of saying out what really is going on. And I have to say that the judge seems to be acting like a normal judge. Now, I don't know what the end result of this case is going to be, but from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen a whole lot of shenanigans that would actually coincide with the biased judge yet. Maybe we'll get sort of a Rittenhouse thing where we were like, oh no, Democrat judge, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this dude was acting right. So let's get to it right quick. Let's roll this.
Reason that this is going on today, I mean, this case is like a bar exam question, and it's sort of maybe a cautionary tale not to represent your friends, although this is not something that happens very often. But what they're going to be doing in chambers is they're having an in-camera review. And in-camera is simply Latin for in private. And the judge is going to be talking to Terrence Bradley because there's some uncertainty as to whether what he knows about their relationship, Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, is due to the fact that he learned it in the course of his representation or because he learned it as a friend, because the lines are blurred here. You don't have any privilege with the stuff you tell your best friend, although I would tell my best friend differently. There is no legal privilege with what you tell your best friend. However, there is a very strong and longstanding privilege with what you tell your lawyer. So the judge is trying to figure out what he knew and what context he knew it in, and he's doing it in private so that it's not a spectacle for the public, and also in case that information is privileged.
I think that there was a good possibility that Nathan Wade knew that something was going to be up. Just in case they got caught, they're like, man, you be my attorney, we're friends, we'll get attorney privilege, client privileges where, they'll not be looked into what we're talking about. And things didn't go quite according to plan. I don't think that even Fani Willis was actually thinking that this would have gotten this far. And they're going to talk about what's so significant about what's going on. The fact of the matter is there's, they can dispute the ping data on the cell phone saying, well, my cell phone says I was here, but I wasn't, and there's no way to prove it. And that may be the case, but there are really damning text messages and the amount of phone calls. And Fani Willis was really adamant about saying, well, I talked to my dad 10 times a day, who was a Black Panthers leader who was adamant about calling white people crackers during his testimony. his Zoom testimony, there's video of Fani Willis's deity saying that this Texas guy, senator dude, was a fat cracker. And it's okay to do that, I guess. It's whatever. If that's his demeanor, then you know that there's a good chance that that's been passed down the family line. And so Fani may have biased feelings, not just towards Trump, but just towards, non-melanin people. But let's dig into this a little bit more.
One thing we do need to keep in mind about the judge in this case, we've attacked a lot of judges on this program and throughout the media because they do seem biased. They seem like they have an agenda. This judge does seem like he is trying to play things right down the middle to make sure he is on the up and up in everything. And that's why this is a prudent move by him. Back to the facts of the case. Here's what Nathan Wade said on the stand a couple of weeks ago. Listen.
When I say frequent, do you think prior to November 1st of 2021, you were at the condo more than 10 times?
No, sir.
So it'd be less than 10 times?
Yes, sir.
That was a lie, allegedly.
Okay, so that's what one party in the relationship said. The other party, Fani Willis, obviously has said things that the Trump attorneys think are incorrect. So late yesterday, Trump's lawyers filed a motion to have Fani Willis testify again in light of new evidence that the relationship between her and Wade began earlier than she previously stated, i.e. what Brooks' report just said. Explain how that testimony could not only jeopardize her case against Trump, but Lexi, her career, because a prosecutor really can't perjure herself on the stand in which she prosecutes.
Well, that's correct. And as a lawyer yourself, you know that lawyers are officers of the court, and we're held to a different standard. The court is to assume that the things that we say are true and that things need to be true. And she's no different than anyone else. She cannot lie under oath. And what they're alleging, the defense team in this instance, is alleging that she and Wade lied under oath by saying that their relationship did not predate his appointment to the case, which is contradicted really by the evidence that was just released. And I think that this is really compelling evidence, the cell phone evidence, and not even so much the triangulation of the cell phones, because that could be explainable. I mean, you know, he could get up there, or she could get up there and testify again that they weren't really where the cell phones said they were. It's kind of an imprecise science, but you can't ignore the text messages and the amount of calls. That is not a normal, casual friendship. Nobody contacts their friends that much. I mean, we're talking about 180 phone calls a month, 12,000 text messages in an 11-month period. I mean, that is a significant amount of contact. And so if the judge decides to remove Fani Willis from the case, the entire office is then disqualified from the case. The Attorney General in Georgia will need to reassign it. And at that point, a new district attorney who takes this up might say, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. This is too politically fraught. The legal underpinnings aren't really there. And it could be an existential threat to the prosecution if the Fulton County DA's office is removed.
And with that little bit of ending remarks there about the possibility of a district attorney not taking this case up, I in the background often wonder what Alex Soros has been up to, knowing that this case seems to be sidelined and being sidetracked because of their antics. Do you think he can find another district attorney that's willing to put themselves out there enough to pull this off? Are they going to vet somebody that's a little more supposedly socially integratable so that they can actually go through with this case? Because that's also a concerning factor. In the real world of justice, this would have never came to light anyways, because of the way the phone call has been chopped up. That started this whole indictment thing. You know, in the back of my mind, I think, well, you know, it's not over yet. If they get her off the case, you know, will they find a district attorney who's willing to put themselves out enough to see if they can make this case stick? That is the question, and that's only time will tell. And in the comment section, let me know what you think about that. Do you know about Alex Soros? Do you know about his, you know, relationship with how he's been handed this whole organization over from his father, who is aging significantly, and the fact that he's also banging Anthony Weiner's ex-wife? It's weird, man. All right. Thank you so much. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share, and have a good rest of the day. I'm out.
Allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So